Now everybody sing that shit. Now everybody sing that shit.
What's up people? The Redmi Note 10 Pro launched on 24th of March and since then I have been using this as my daily driver. So I thought why not share some thoughts on this. So I bought this phone for myself as because my mother lost her previous phone, I had to give my phone to her. And since this wasn't a planned purchase, I decided to go with the cheaper option and then I thought that when I have some money I'll get a better phone. So I went with the Redmi Note 10 Pro because it offered at least it promised some great specs and performance at the price. And out of the box, I would say when I took this out, it had very fundamental bugs like the notifications didn't come at time. Even if they came, they were very messy. Someone else's message showed up in anyone else's name. So there are a lot of fundamental bugs here and there, stutters, lags, all that in MIUI. We all know how MIUI is. So, I actually knew this thing, but still I went ahead and bought this because I thought I would flash custom ROMs on it and I can just use it the way I want. I can use Gcam and all that for cameras and stuff. So that was the main reason that I bought it. But then I heard from someone that MIUI 12.5 has arrived and it has improved or fixed a lot of bugs that it had when it came out. So I became curious and went ahead and flashed the stock MIUI 12.5. And to my surprise, the company did fix a lot of problems. The occasional stutters, the notification problems, most of them were mostly solved, but still it had some issues here and there, but that's the price we have to pay for such a cheap phone for this great hardware. So yes, that was it. So here are some of the things that I want to tell you guys that I liked about this phone and some of the things that I do not like about this phone, or maybe some strange things that I feel about this phone. So here we go. So a few things that I like about this phone are, let's start with the screen. The screen is 120 Hz AMOLED. It's a big screen. It's great, gets plenty bright. Also, it has an inbuilt feature in which when you go outside, it plays with the contrast a little bit and then it just enhances the outdoor visibility. It's great. It works very fine and it's very easy, and I have noticed that it becomes very easy when I go outside and look at the screen. So that's good. And then it has a headphone jack and the sound output is actually very good. But one strange thing that I am noticing is it doesn't support AAC playback for some reason. It does support, but then it shows an error that it is not it's not completely compatible. So yes, it does support SBC and aptics playback. Even then, the sound output is great via Bluetooth, but for some reason it doesn't support AAC. So that's that. But other than that, it has great speakers. It's actually at par with my iPhone XR that I had previously. It's not that full, but it's good. It gets plenty loud. And the battery is also great. It has I think a 5000 something milliamp hour battery, and it gets through the day, gets the job done. It's great. And the Snapdragon 732G doesn't disappoint. It works very fine. But one thing that I noticed is that it does get a little warm. I don't know why. Maybe because the Snapdragon 732 is G, basically the 732G with a few cores overclocked. So heating is definitely expected, but it's not that disturbing. You can absolutely play light games. But at intensive tasks, it does get a little warm. So that's that. Other than that, one thing that I think is strange is usually when a new phone comes out, it comes out most of the time with the best software that the company can provide. But in this case, I have noticed that the MIUI 12.0 some version that this phone came with had a lot of bugs, like I'm telling you, fundamental bugs. But then that actually made me switch to custom ROMs for the first few months that I used it. But then I heard from somewhere that the company has dropped the MIUI 12.5, which has improved and fixed a lot of bugs. So I went ahead and flashed it, and yes, the company, to my surprise, did solve a lot of problems, which is actually good, which is promising, which shows a good sign that yes, the company does think about the software. But still, MIUI is MIUI. It has its own bugs. I do not personally like MIUI. I just think flashing a custom ROM is the way to go. So that's what I did. And other than that, I think it's a good device. I mean, the basic tasks like scrolling through Instagram, gaming, and all that, basic gaming is good. But here are a few things that I do not like about this phone. Okay, so let's start with the build quality. I don't know what I feel about the glass back. I'm even okay with plastic bags as long as the phone feels sturdy. But in this case, yes, it does have a glass back, but the frame of the phone itself is plastic and it feels very flimsy for some reason. I don't know. Wait, I'll show. As you can see, the SIM card tray goes deeper inside the plastic frame itself. It goes to show that yes, this problem may be only with my unit, but yes, the frame itself is also very flimsy. And I think this problem will be with many of the users. But other than that, one more thing that I feel is strange is that even though this has a 5000 milliamp hour battery, it does not give the battery life that it should, because technically it's running a low powered CPU. And I've seen phones which don't even kill apps in the background as much as MIUI does, but still give more battery life, even though they have less capacity batteries like the Pixel. This does not give the battery life as much as it should. That is what I feel, but it still gives plenty battery life, around a day and a half of usage, light usage. Yes, other than that, I feel it's a great phone. But one more thing that I always tell people is that if you're buying a Xiaomi phone, I would highly recommend you flashing custom ROM, because if you're not flashing custom, you're not using the hardware inside it to the fullest. MIUI just doesn't do justice to the hardware that is inside the phone. So if you're buying a Xiaomi phone, do consider flashing a custom ROM, because that is only how you can actually use the hardware to the fullest, and it's completely safe. One last thing that I want to talk about, and maybe this is the most important, I just forgot talking about it, is the cameras. Now, these are not bad cameras. I would say these are actually one of the best cameras that you can get in this price range. It takes some amazing shots when it can. I mean, in ideal conditions, it takes great pictures, but it lacks one big thing that you would expect from a good camera system, that is consistency. Now, what I mean by that is I have used both the stock camera and the Gcam app for this phone. But the one thing that I feel the stock camera lacks, even though it does take more superior pictures than Gcam, is consistency. This camera, the stock camera, just isn't as consistent. It can only take good pictures when it's in ideal conditions, like good natural lighting and or even good indoor lighting. But as soon as it moves away from the ideal conditions, it starts taking pictures in which the details are just too blurry. You can't even sometimes read the text that is written on some pages or even some billboards. But on the other hand, Gcam, maybe because it's way more optimized or anything, but it does take better pictures and it's more consistent. So that is that is also one of the reasons that I would suggest you, even if you think that you would, if you're a flashing customer, you would think that you would miss on the stock camera, but the stock camera just isn't as good as you would think. It's a good camera. It's decent, it takes amazing pictures, but it's not consistent. You're better off using a Gcam anyway. So yeah, that was it, and that's all that I have to say about this phone. If you want a tutorial on how to flash any custom ROM basically on any phone or specifically this phone, just drop a comment in the comment section. I'll get back to you for that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys.